You know, I've been having like weird dreams lately, and I recorded a couple of them on my second channel, and it's just been very strange, and it had me thinking because some of these dreams I had, it felt like I was really there. It felt real. And it's very interesting how sometimes when we wake up from dreams, we can remember bits and pieces, but we never really remember the whole dream, you know? Or if we do, it's kind of like scrambled up a bit, Like I rarely remember a whole entire dream. Like that, like is almost unheard of, right? But I do remember bits and pieces of my dreams. And it really got me thinking, what if after we pass away in this life, you know, and let's say we get soul harvested or we get like something like that happens, but also we we lose our memory. You see, in Gnosticism, it talks about how you get mind wiped, you get your memory erased. But what if as soon as you pass away, and after they do their life review and all that, like your memories just start to dissipate, and everything that you were in this life is just gone forever. Now, I know for a lot of us, that can seem like a very good thing because you know we may not like ourselves, we may not be confident in ourselves because of how people treated us and how we felt isolated and devastated in a world that never gave a damn, right? But just knowing that there's part of like there's some things about yourself that you do like there's things about myself that I do like, right? And there should be something about yourself that you like that has nothing to do with your looks or just your personality. Like maybe your affinity to anime, maybe your affinity to a certain type of music that makes you happy. That should make you like yourself because you have a good taste in music, and you have a good taste in certain things that entertain your mind and make you happy. So you should feel proud of things that you like, right? So I was just thinking, like, what if when we pass away, all of our dreams and ambitions that we had in this life, and it disappears, and we get our mind wiped, and we get thrown back into this life again. Like, wouldn't that be a scary thing to come back to this earth and relive it again? It's absolutely horrifying because when I pass away, if I can like not come back to this existence and go to another existence, like far away from this existence and get away from this evil creator, I'll be very happy, right? Because the things we go through in this life, it does alter you. It changes you, man. It changes who you are as a person. Like if you was like a happy person when you were younger, maybe you had hope in yourself, but as the years go by, people kind of lose interest in you. It's like when you get old as a man, it's not the same as getting old as a female, right? When you get old as a man and you don't provide no wealth or you don't have any type of stability, like with a woman and kids and things of that nature, people look down on you. People don't like older men with no children and they're not married, but they don't understand. Like these boomers don't understand how the modern woman is, and they don't understand how expensive everything really is. It's not back in 1955 anymore, right? Where you can sit on the front lawn, give the landowner or the landlord or house owner, a cold beer and a handshake, it's like it's a totally different era. And this era seems like it's made to punish us, man. That's what it seems like. There's no way that this world is just a good realm. But I find it fascinating that you go through all of this, you go through all the trials and tribulations you face in your life, and then you're gone forever. And then people that you knew in real life, people that you've seen, people that you got accustomed to, they can just leave your life in a split second. And there's nothing that can ever fill that void. What kind of realm, what kind of realm are we in when we can lose people that we really love and we really care about and we'll never see them again? There's no guarantee that you're going to see them in some heaven or anything like that. Plus, what version of them are you going to see? Are you going to see the version of them when they're younger? Or are you going to see the version of them as they left in this life when they're older? Because why would they want to come back? Like they're an old person. Why would they want to come back as an old person or be in the spirit world as an old person? Wouldn't they have to change themselves? So theoretically, isn't that not the exact same person that you knew? So it's like you only get to know these people for a limited time on this earth. People that you love and care about, they're taken from you. What is this sick world that we're in, man? I'm just thinking there's no way that this ends well for us. Like there's no way that this ends well because how can it? I mean, look at this life. Look at the things we're going through. You know, it's some things you go through in this world is enough to make you just. It's enough to make you just want to stay away from people permanently and forever. Now I see why. Like you see those storybooks and those movies and those those what's it called, like those little character traits, like where it's like that, like the person that lives on the outskirts, like on the outskirts of the city. Like, oh, beware of old man James. He's always cranky every time you go in his yard and blah blah blah. And it's like old man James is just cranky because he knows that life is pointless and life is meaningless. That's why old man James is cranky, and that's why he lives on the outskirts of the city so he won't be bothered. But those damn kids always come around and they mess with his stuff. They, like say he has like a junkyard in the background because he's an excess man. He just collects junk because like you feel like your life is junk. It's just brutal, right? And um, the kids go and they make noise and they just annoy you. And then you see like their youth and you see like how the vast potential they have. And it's like, damn, you're old now. And when you're an old man, that's an excess. Like you're like a thrown away tool inside of a tool shop. Like you're thrown in the back and you just rust away in silence. And it's brutal. It's brutal when you see people that are living the life that you can only imagine and only dream of, and you get a fragment of like you get like a fragment of happiness. Like maybe when you get paid, let's say on your payday, you got like a little happy ritual or something like that, where you go get your favorite burger or your favorite pizza or your favorite chili cheese fries or whatever. Or you get something like I don't know, like milkshake, or you buy your favorite, or you cook your favorite meal, or you buy yourself a video game, something like that, right? Those moments of happiness, they come so quick and then they're gone. Have you ever noticed that about life? Like the good things that we have, or the tiny things that we have that can make this life more manageable, it always ends. But the pain, it never ends. It's like there's more bad things in this world going on than there are good things, and there's more bad things going on in our life than there are good. That's what makes us miserable. And that's what makes us sad. You know, when you have people that have a lot of good things going on in life, they don't really care about people that, are having bad things going on in their life because they're not going through it. They don't have to deal with what you have to deal with. So they overlook your problems. They call you a complainer. They say, you got to man up. Or they say this, that, and the third. They say these gaslighting things to try to trap you in oblivion. That's why it's really good, man, to kind of stay by yourself as a guy in this position. You know, because the more you interact with people, the more people see like certain flaws of you, like more social flaws, and those social flaws may not necessarily be flaws. Like to be able to just make small talk, I can't do small talk with people, bro. It's just like if you're not talking about underground secret bases, teleportation, interdimensional civilizations, relic civilizations, relit civilizations, undersea civilizations. You know, the portal and the portals in Antarctica and the secret seawall and the ancient civilizations there. If you're not talking about underground cities, if you're not talking about Bigfoot, aliens, real aliens, which is the archons and the different civilizations of them and whatever. If you're not talking about things that are mysterious, man, I don't want to hear it. I like mysterious shit. I like the esoteric. I don't like the normie crap. I like secrets and mysteries. I want to know what's going on inside Area 51. I want to know whether they got more advanced technology and whether are they cloning presidents. You know, or are they doing all time, like are they poisoning the food? Are they making sure that the population remains dumb and ignorant and making sure people are sheeple? Are the Hilux controlling Hilux? Or the NPCs controlling the NPCs? And those of us with the real souls, we can see past all this cognitive dysfunctionality. We can see past the circus that makes good people like us nervous. Because when you see people around you that are just blatantly stupid, it's very difficult to try to build something. Like when you have like friends who don't see the bigger picture, like, hey man, let's build together. Let's try to, build together. Let's try to make it together. And they're like, oh, they just kind of just destroy the dream before they try it. Then it's like, you're always going to remain in poverty. Your network is your net worth. The people that are around you, like if you have any friends, your network of people is going to be your net worth because you got to work together. And if you don't do that, if you guys are just friends, but you guys ain't trying to build nothing together, then what's the point? I know it sounds cruel, but you got to be realistic nowadays. People only want to befriend you when they can benefit, right? So if that's the case, if that person has a certain skill or asset, why not create a limited liability corporation, an LLC, and start making video games? You're good at coding and good at using AI and coding or whatever the heck, or if you're good at level design, we may not have to like each other much, but if we can work together and create a business, then hell, why not? Let's try to make some money together, because that's how you're going to survive in this world now, man. You have to create something that you own, something that generates a lot of money that you own, because if not, you're going to remain in that cycle. You're going to remain in that depression. You're going to remain in that demiurgic archonic energy. Everybody knows the 9 to 5 job is just a energy draining circus. You got to wake up. It's like a ritual. You wake up in the morning, you get dressed, you brush your teeth, you hop in the shower. You know, um, you may get a snack or something to eat to take with you, or you may make your lunch. You may make your lunch the night before, or whatever the heck how you do it, right? And then you got to go to work. Either you have a car, you may got to take the bus, you may got to ask somebody, or whatever the heck how you get there. You got to get there. You got to get there on time. You got to go there. And it doesn't matter what you're going through. You got to put on the polite voice. Hi, how you doing? Yes, yes, yes. You got to say good morning, good morning. And even though it's not a damn good morning, even though like those people have no idea that you were so close to just you know, jumping inside of a river dam or jumping inside of a river just a few hours ago. They have no idea the psychological degradation that you're undergoing due to the isolation that you've been through, right? And people underestimate, not having a woman in your life. See, having a good woman in your life, that can help you focus. Let's just be real. A lot of us, man, we're in a bad position simply because it's like we don't got a good girl in our life holding us down, and the depression of not having a woman just leads to you just like it leads to your confidence breaking down even more. So like the chances of getting a girl when your confidence is already broken, and then it got broken down even more, it's just like the reality of getting a good girl is just zero. It drops significantly. And it's a brutal truth. You can't sugarcoat these things, man. Right? It's this world that we're in, man. It's designed to break us in some weird way. It's designed to make us forget things. It's designed to make us obey and obedient. It's designed to make us compliant. It's not designed for innovative and creative spirits, and that's scary. That's frightening. Why would a loving and caring God not make a realm where the beings that He created can express themselves freely? Why do you need a 9 to 5 job if there's a loving God? Wouldn't a loving God want you to do what you want to do with your time and not have you forced inside of a prison, right? Wouldn't that make more sense? Or is this the demiurge who wants us distracted by these materialistic things that that we have to focus on, and then we can never focus on our true spiritual growth and development inside the divine spark inside our souls? So if we don't focus on the inner, we focus on the outer, the materialistic things. Now, 100 years from now, everything you own is probably going to be gone or in a museum or something like that. And the way the world's going, it's probably going to be a nuclear World War III within the next, hell, I would say the next decade, if not sooner, right? Because something's going to pop off eventually. It could get, nuclear. So, but we'll see, because I think the demiurge wants to loose us even more before he does that. Because the demiurge is a wicked, sadistic, twisted being. So it's going to do its best to loose every drip out of you. It's going to loose you. And once it looses all those painful events and memories, then it'll probably start nuclear devastation and proliferation. Like once you already went through the hell, and it's no point. Like once you're broke and once you're this is what the demiurge would do, right? Let's say you've been going through hell all your whole life, and then finally you get a big break. Then the demiurge would just make a nuclear war happen. Let's say your whole life you've been in this position, and then you win the lottery, and then the next day it's a nuclear war, and then money becomes basically worthless overnight. And it's like, damn, that's the demiurge plays games like that, bro. If you have you ever noticed that when you're in a good mood, or when you're happy, or you're waiting for something to come that's good, then sometimes it goes off without a hitch. Sometimes, okay, that was a good thing that happened. I went to the dispensary, I got some kush, bada bing, that was cool. But then other times, just things that throws a wrench in your plan, and it seems those things happen more often than not, right? And that's what makes this world just brutal, because it's okay, is this world designed really to test me, or is it designed to torture me? Because if it's designed to torture and torment me, which I feel it is, then that means it's made by a very wicked being. And that's not a good thing, man. That's scary. That's frightening. That's terrifying. Knowing that there's something that's claiming to be your God, but it's not. But it has the power to alter your reality and create things in a materialistic fashion. But You can't prove that's God. People say they have, you know, NDEs, which is like a near neutralization experience. And when they have these near neutralization experiences, they see like these beings of light, and some of these beings say they're Jesus and they say this, but you can't confirm if that's Jesus or not. Even if they do magic and stuff like that, you can't confirm if that's a real loving, caring being. You have to judge their actions, and so far, the actions of these beings have been against us. They haven't been in our favor. They have not been in our favor. Like whatever's controlling this world does not want us to be happy as human beings. It wants us to be subservient to merciless entities. It wants us to not live our passions and not live our dreams. It wants us to be constantly stressed. It wants us to be depressed because at these low vibrational frequencies and these low states, humans release a thing called loosh. And this loosh energy, when it's released, it's like food to these beings and they feed off of it. It's like if you go get a cheesecake or get your favorite pie or get your favorite ice cream, that's how they like our loosh. So they have to put us in deep emotional states in order for us to, be compliant with this wicked evil system. This is why people are too stressed, they're too depressed, they're too tired from work. They try to do marching or launch some type of rebellion. People can't rebel against the system. How? You have work in the morning, you have bills to pay, you have a family to take care of, you have a daughter that may have cancer or something like that, or your son that has skin cancer, or if it's not that bad, you may have like your son who broke his arm, or your daughter who broke her leg during soccer practice, and that costs money. Or maybe your teenage son may have gotten into a car crash, or maybe you may have hit somebody, and then boom, like your whole life changes. Like there's all these things in this world that brings you back down to like reality. Like there is beauty in this world, right? There are things that are beautiful. There's beautiful women, there's beautiful cars, there's beautiful poems, there's beautiful songs, there's beautiful sunlight and daylight. Like you can sit on certain parts of like Switzerland and you can see the Swiss Alps and you can see the sunlight reflecting against the lake in a little village. It's beautiful, right? But you gotta understand that right next to that, there's an eagle, there's some monster, there's some creature that's like devouring another creature to survive. And even on a microscopic level, like right in those beautiful, sweet Switzerland mountains, there's probably some type of, Swiss eagle or something like that that's hunting like a rabbit or something, nearby. And it just rips the rabbit's brains out. It's like a zombie and it just devours it right there, right on top of the beautiful mountaintop. So this world has beauty, but it has evil at the same time simultaneously, which means whatever created this doesn't know what the hell it's doing. It wants to create evil and good at the same time. That's wickedness. You can't have water with like a little blood in it and then drink it and said it's just pure water. No. If there's a little wickedness in the being that's supposed to be righteous, then it's wicked. No. 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 We have to hold this being to the same account that we hold each other. Right? People show each other no mercy. People go after you and attack you with no mercy, right? But yet when it comes to this being that's been showing us no mercy, you want to be sympathetic towards it. You want to be empathetic towards a being that wants you destroyed. There's a reason why people in your family are gone. There's a reason why you keep trying and never getting the girl you want. You keep trying and never even reaching out of poverty, even though you're working 2 or 3 jobs. Like every time you try to do something, boom, you get into a car crash, or boom, all of a sudden, you get sick, or all of a sudden, um, somebody tried to hack your card, and it's just something like that happens, or all of a sudden, hell, you break your toe. Like it's 2 o'clock in the morning, you got the munchies or something. You're coming down the stairs, like let's say you're playing Call of Duty, and it's loading up to the next match. You like rush downstairs, and as you rush downstairs, your damn cat's in the way, and you don't want to step on your cat, so you kind of like hop over it, but you trip on the bottom stair, and boom, you twist your ankle a little bit, or you break your, or you break your pinky, or you break your feet, or you break your like your toes or something like that. Like you break something, and you're like, what the hell? Like something like that happens all the time, man. It's like when things like that happen, and you're able to feel pain, you feel those pains, and it's not just physical pain. You feel emotional pain as well, right? Like when there's deep emotional pain, such as not having the girl in your life and being like say like if you're over the age of 25 and you're a virgin, as a man, that's you can't really just tell people things like that. If you're 25 years old and you've never ever had a woman, people are going to look at you like something's wrong with you. And what's wrong is the damn system. It's what's wrong is like these women only wanting the top percent of the guys, right? And let's say you're not a handsome guy. Okay, not every single girl is beautiful. So a girl of your looks match should be getting with you because you guys have the looks match. But the problem is you have a girl that's like a maybe a 4 out of 5 trying to still get a 8 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 guy. But basically they go for the 10 out of 10s. So you got a girl that's a 4 out of 10 going for a guy that's a 10 out of 10, something way above her looks match, and she refuses to date anybody in her position or down. And that's why you have this discrepancy. That's why you have this epidemic of male loneliness. When a female says she's lonely, man, that just means she hasn't talked to Chad in 2 minutes, right? Let's just be real. Oh, Chad didn't text me back within freaking 2 or 5 minutes. Oh my gosh, I'm so lonely. Meanwhile, men go through loneliness, meaning that they don't have sex for 10 years or they never have sex at all. Imagine going 10 years without having sex with a woman. Imagine telling any man that you went 10 years of your life, 10 years of your life without having sex with a woman. People will look at you like, wow. And imagine telling them that you never had sex and you're at 25 or something like that. People will judge you. People are like that. And and then people look at you and they can see that you may have unattractive features, then they still want to play dumb about it. At that point, man, you're going to have to go to escorts. You're going to have to do things like that, right? But then some people don't want to go to an escort because they feel like, it's not the real connection. But you got to understand, brother, maybe you weren't meant for that real connection because I feel like the demiurge doesn't make everybody for love. I think he makes some people to be like, so he can just torture, honestly. And I feel like I'm one of those people, to be quite honest. I feel like I'm targeted by the demiurge and his evil archons. And I know it sounds crazy. I know this guy's crazy. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. Usually, in my personal opinion, it's true. It may not be the truth, but it's the closest thing to the truth that I have found out. Is that this world is ruled by an evil creator, and there's things that happen in our life that are not an accident. They happen on purpose so we can produce a thing called loosh. It's not an accident that you lost your keys the morning you had that interview and now you lost that job. It's not like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not an accident that you wanted to get that video game that day and they were out, or you can't even find it online. It's not an accident that you clocked in at your job, and then like you worked your extra hours, and then they didn't clock it in. They didn't clock in your time. So now you don't get paid those hours. Now you got to fight for it. Now you got to show evidence that you did it, even though they got cameras and everything at the job. Now you got to show some evidence or whatever. It's always something like that. It's always something that goes wrong, bro. Like, have you ever went to McDonald's and you ordered something and got the wrong order? Has that ever happened to you before? Right? And when that happens, you're like, damn. Now sometimes when it happens, like, oh, this is good. But other times, like, what the hell's a salad? Wow. And so like you may have to go back, depending on what you get, you may have to go back and, hey, I got the wrong order. Right? I feel like when it comes to this world, I got the wrong order. I didn't sign up for this, bro. I didn't sign up for a life of agony and pain. I didn't sign up for a life where I'm crazy, like I lost my mind. I lost my mind because I lost my time, because I lost my grind, and I lost my grind because I lost my mind. Do you understand? That's why. Once you lose your mind, you lose your grind and you lose time. And then you can never get time back. And once you get older and older and older, it gets very difficult to even focus because it's like, what's the point of focusing? You'll never be 25 again. You'll never be 22 again. You'll never be 19 again. You'll never be 26, 27, or 28 again. You're already in your 30s, in your mid-30s. You're old. No one cares about old people. We live in a world where it worships the youth, literally, right? It worships young people. And when you're an old person, they kind of just forget about you. And you're old, really, the minute you hit, 30, right? According to the world, once you hit 30, that's unk status. That's that, like, you're like a grandpa. So me, I'm like a great grandpa, but it's cool because I feel like the older I get, I should teach wisdom to the youngsters so they would know what not to do to end up in my position. To teach them that what they're going through is not just an accident, that this is deliberate. And don't let nobody tell you it's not, because you can see it for yourself. You don't gotta listen to me. Look at your life. You're gonna start noticing patterns of things that are happening to piss you off. And then you're gonna realize, damn, there could be some damn entities doing this. Yes, the Gnostics talked about this. This is why they were wiped out from this. That's why you haven't even. That's just why they're not popular. They were literally wiped out of existence. Literally everywhere they went, they were targeted because they started talking this truth, saying this world is not ran by a good, loving creator. And that's like heresy in those days. You know how it was back in those days. You say anything about religion in those days, You like you'll be in you'll be in the same position as an apple tree, and you know it's like because they used to think people were like witches and stuff, and yeah, some people were practicing black magic, sure, but not all those people that they burned to the stake were witches. Some of those just innocent girls that they just didn't like or wanted to get rid of, or that they couldn't sexually exploit, so they just burnt them at the stake. It's just people are so wicked, and that's another thing too. Is why is wickedness like that allowed to proliferate? Why is evil allowed to win and good allowed not to? That doesn't sound good to me, man. That sounds like something that sounds like whoever made this world, it has a personal bias towards evil. So, what's really in control of this world? What really is running things in this life? What are we really? Like, what's outside this reality? Is it really a soul trap prison? That's what I believe. But what is it really? I can't know that definitively, right? There's no way I can know that definitively, but it feels like a soul trap prison based on my you know predilections. I can't tell you like for sure, you know, that I know exactly what's going on, but this is my prediction. I believe that this is like everything that we go through we're supposed to go through it because there's something feeding off our energy, man. And I wonder what's outside this time of reality. Like, is that really true, or is it something deeper than that? Or is it, or like I don't know, man. Or is this all a dream? You know, right? I don't know, but I know for a fact the things that I go through are so real. They're so intense and emotional, vibrant frequency that I know there's beings feeding off of it. Like, have you ever been just sad and depressed for no reason sometimes, and like you just been exhausted all day, even though you haven't really done nothing, but you still feel exhausted? That's something feeding off your energy. That's something feeding off your soul, brother. And it's something that's hard. We live in a very brutal world, man, where it's merciless. And it sucks because you have no help. Like if we would have had help or had people that cared about people in our position, like there's some type of organization or foundation where they can take people like us and, you know, turn us into some type of soldiers or something like that. I don't know, turn us into something where we can earn our keep, but do something that can make us feel like a man. You know what I mean? Because nowadays things are designed to de-emasculate you. Bowing down to another man for a job every single day and getting told what to do by somebody who, like, maybe you're physically superior to, like physically like stronger than. You know, let's say you're in the gym every single week. You know, and you're super buff, and like this guy, your boss, is some skinny, linky guy, and he's telling you to shut up or shut your effing mouth, like in front of your face. And it's like if you just swing on him once, he's gone. But you have to restrain yourself. It's just like that's just it's just the world's designed to piss you off like that, bro. You know, it's just designed that way, and it's crazy. So I don't know, man. I was just wondering, like, what the hell is this? What is this really? It just got me thinking a little bit because whatever this is, man, it's something that I wish I was never ever a part of.